Hi, I'm Brendan Martone.
And I'm Kevin Trasnick. And yes, I do have 2 cups of coffee. I like coffee.
And this is Crash Course World History. Today we'll be talking about the post-classical trade routes, specifically 600 to 1450 CE.
Mr. Martone, have you heard about the new modern trade routes?
Oh, my classmate from the past, you have so much to learn.
It's yours.
Whose world is this?
The world is yours. The world is yours.
It's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
It's yours.
It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
The world is yours. The world is yours.
It's mine, it's mine.
Trade has been taking place for thousands of years, but mostly at a local level. And now as empires gained wealth, they had the sudden desire for more valuable goods.
One of the first trade routes that linked Western Europe and Eastern Asia was the Silk Road. Now, keep in mind that the Silk Road was not actually made out of silk, but was rather a bunch of passages that connected marketplaces along the way of the Silk Road.
Now, eventually, the Romans realized that the Chinese created silk, and this silk was viewed as a sign of power in Rome, so obviously they wanted an easier way to get it. Aside from silk, the Romans learned that the Chinese offered much more, like spices, cotton, and animal hides.
A direct result of the trade being taken on Silk Road was that it developed a diverse marketplace, with foreign goods becoming popular in new regions.
Some of the many empires involved in the Silk Road trade included the Romans, the Persians, the Indians, and even the Han Dynasty.
It is important to note that merchants rarely ever traveled the whole length of the Silk Road. Many marketplaces were set up along the road for merchants to trade. Trickle trade refers to goods being traded locally and through communities.
There were many things that were sold along the Silk Road. Some of these things include spices, silk, and animal hides. However, the most unique thing was the culture of all the travelers. These travelers were able to share their art, religion, and general styles of life. A very good example of this is the fact that Buddhism traveled all the way from India to China through the Silk Road.
Along with the diverse cultures that were being traded throughout the Silk Road, ideas about farming and irrigation were also developed. New technological advances allowed for cheaper and easier trade.
Wow, would you look at that? My imaginary watch is telling me it's time for the open letter.
Yes, indeed. I'll go get the secret compartment.
Alright. Let's see what we have today. It's popcorn. No, it's just a camel, but also very exciting.
An open letter to camels. Dear camels, thanks for being so willing to take care of us people while we were on our journeys. Back in the day, we used to call you the ships of the desert because of how majestic you went along. You were also the inspiration for Fergie's song, My Humps, arguably the greatest song of the 21st century. Am I right?
What you gonna do with all that junk inside that trunk?
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump, my hump, my hump, my hump, my hump, my hump,
What?
my hump, my hump, my hump, my lovely little.
No, they weren't. Wait, what? What are you saying? They weren't the inspiration for that song. Oh, really? Yes, really.
Darn it! Always making history unfun, Kevin. Best wishes, Kevin Brendo. Around 800 CE, a new era of trade emerged, this time on water. The Indian Ocean became the largest trade route on the sea. Advancements in technology like compasses and bigger and better boats, as well as the discovery of monsoon winds, allowed for easier trade.
As empires around the Indian Ocean learned about the monsoon winds, they found that it was actually very easy to navigate. Monsoon winds were very consistent winds, which allowed voyagers to plan their trips and come back from their trips with great success.
Another big factor in the success of the Indian Ocean commerce was the religion of Islam. There was an increased number of Muslim merchants. due to the fact that Muhammad, the founder, was a merchant himself.
At first, the Chinese dominated the Indian Ocean trade. They sent massive treasure ships through the Indian Ocean to show off what they had. They also watched over the trade and protected it from piracy.
New city-states began to emerge along the coasts where trade was successful. These city-states were not tied to the empire of their region, and merchants themselves developed their own bureaucracies as well as laws for taxation.
Many countries tried to dominate the Indian Ocean trade. For example, the Portuguese became pirates and tried to monopolize the trade.
As time went on, more and more goods went to Europe, and as a result of this, trade was no longer profitable for others, and Indian Ocean commerce crumbled. Even though Indian Ocean commerce eventually crumbled, the success and popularity of it further promoted exploration of new trade routes. As for the case of Christopher Columbus, he went looking for trade routes in Asia and ended up in the Americas, creating a globalized world. Yeah, it is. Indian Ocean commerce eventually led to interaction with the Americas, and with it, the connection of a now globalized world. But without the Silk Road, Indian Ocean commerce and the globalization of the New World may have never transpired.
So, the Indian Ocean and the Silk Road were both very influential for broadening global relations.
What would the world be like today if these trade routes had never existed? Well, people may have never connected on a global level.
And you and I may not be here at all?
Wow, my classmate from the past, you did learn something today. Oh yeah, and put your ID on.
Sorry, Mr. Martone.
I'm Brendan Martone.
And I'm Kevin Trasnick.
And that's Dave. And as we say in our hometown, don't forget to be raw.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.